part 2 of color correction and using Lumetri color correction in Premiere Pro. So I dropped some clips down that I want to work with. Looks pretty yellow. I just want to play with this a little bit. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go to color again. And you just need to click what you have. Okay. And again, I'm going to go to basic color correction. If you don't have something selected, this will be grayed out. Okay. So I know this is white right down here. So I'm going to go see if this will white balance this piece of, yeah, look at the color difference just on the white balance. So if I turn that off, there's my white balance. Okay. I shot this on a C100, so it's a kind of a flat. So I'm going to bring my blacks down a little bit to crush them a little bit. See how dull that was before? And if I bring my blacks down, and I think I'm going to bring a little bit of my shadows down to give it a little bit more. So that's before, after. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? And I'm almost to 100 here. I could bring my whites up a little bit maybe. Just pop them a little. And again, night and day difference. So what you want to do almost with this, when it's time to show how things change in a thing, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it over here, and I'm going to bring it back over and put it on top. And I'm going to double click on this one. And to get rid of a Lumetri color, if you click on it on effect control, I can just hit Lumetri color and delete it off. So the bottom layer no longer has color correction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to bring this down. I'm not going to worry about the audios for now because, yeah, I don't need the audios on these. I'm working with the visuals right now. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go over to I'm going to save it. I'm going to go over to my wipes. So I'm going to go back to editing. I'm going to go find my effects, video transitions, and there's my wipes. And I'm just going to use a wipe between the two. I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to make this a long wipe. This way you'll see the color change in the fix. So before, after. And if you, I'll send some reels to you guys of some color correction reels, and they'll just show you the fix. Okay. And that's because really, you don't know how bad that looked before. That could look straight out of the camera. So I want you guys to do before and afters. Okay. And with that also, I'm going to go back over here to my color tabs. I'm going to go to my next shot here. And I'm going to copy this one again. Command C, Control click, paste attributes, Lumetri color. Okay, let's see how that did to before and after. So, and one thing you have to be careful of, if you keep pasting, the Lumetri effect will double up. So watch if I do this again. Control click, paste attributes, hit OK. And notice how if I come back over to here under my effects, I have 1, I have 2. So you got to be careful about it doubling up, okay? When you start pasting, you can get yourself in trouble, okay? And again, that's before. And I might even be able to take a little bit of saturation out of that. And that cleans it up a little bit more, okay? And I should be looking at my scopes also. And with my scopes, I can actually pop that a little bit more, bring my whites back down, and before, after, it's night and day. Okay, so again, I'm going to put some little saturation back in there with the walls. Okay, so again, the other thing I want you guys to do a little bit different this quarter too is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to do a correction with each one of these. Okay, so you're going to have one piece of video, you're going to use basic correction. You're going to have one piece of video, you're going to use creative. You're going to have one that you use your curves. Okay, so with curves, you can play with your brightness and contrast a little bit. You have different lines. So let's say I think this is a little bit too red. I could go work on my reds. I want to minus some red out of there. I can add red in. So there's different things you can do with the red, green, blue. If I wanted to make this look a little bluer, you can kind of play with the different lines. Okay, with this also you have different tools in here that you can play. Okay, so if I wanted to take the red out of Nebraska, I could come over here and hue versus saturation. I can come click on that red. Okay, and if I pull this down, the red comes out of, but I also have some red in my face and lips, so it comes out too. And that's more or less. So I got my face color back in just by moving those over a little bit, but I still have the red on Nebraska out of there. Okay, so you have a lot of power with these tools. So that would be one correction using, your RGB curves. And then you got color wheels. This is how we used to color correct. So if I'm a little too red, I could go to my highlights and move away from red. See how that works? If I wanted to add some blues in, if I want to bring my highlights down, if I want to bring my blacks down, and then I got my midtones too. So you'll do a correction using those tools too. And then with the secondary, I'm going to come over to this clip over here, and I want to pop the sky a little bit more. So with my secondary, I can pick the color of the blue in the sky. Then if I click on this, notice I just have the sky selected. So with that sky selected, I want to make that sky bluer. See how that turns bluer? I can always come up here and say before, after. So I kind of pop the sky without popping everything else. Okay, and with that too, let me get back over to there. I'm going to come over, and there's a saturation down there where I could saturate it a little bit more. So you can almost get a fake looking sky in there. And if I wanted to change the color temperature of that sky, I can play with some different things. So you're going to do a correction in each one of these and show before and afters. And then I'm going to go back over to me. Like if I corrected this, if I want to put a vignette to pull me out, I use vignettes all the time. So again, what I want you guys to do is take some video you guys have already. If you don't have some, I can get you some next week, and start playing with your Lumetri color and use your scopes. Okay, and I'll send some videos of how to read scopes, more information about color correction, and I'll have more next week. After Effects has Lumetri color too. But that's what I want you guys to do and that's assignment number 6. And I'll give you a little more information with that next week.